I messed up on this one, so we're just gonna do a... Fuck. I gotta restart it. I made 3. Oh. Whoa. This chair's a little flexible, right? Like gymnastic people. And this just broke. Well, that's not good, but we'll just leave that there. It's December 23rd. It is that time of year where we celebrate the different holidays. Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever it is you celebrate. Enjoy it. Spend it with good friends, good family. Eat a lot of food. Feel uncomfortable. It's cool. But just enjoy the time. It goes by so fast, and then it's over, and then we have to wait a whole year. With that being said, I'd like to talk about 2 things today that are really important for this time of year, I feel like. The first one, deal with me, GR. Gratitude. What is gratitude? A lot of people probably wonder that this time of year, but what is gratitude at the end of the day? You know, I think a lot of us this time of year are so overwhelmed with what we're going to get, what we're going to buy with the money that people give us, and what are we going to do with that money, or what are we going to do with our gifts, and hope we get everything that we want, right? I think this time of year, you really need to sit down and kind of just sit for 10 minutes and kind of take a step back and be really thankful for everything you have. I think a lot of us overlook a lot of the things that we have and don't appreciate them for what they're worth. A few things that I'm really thankful for, you know, all year around is, number one, my health. You know, I think so many of us, you know, I think a lot of things that we have that are given to us every single day, I think we look over those as an item that we take for granted, that we feel like is always going to be there. And I think health is really important. You know, every single day I'm healthy for the most part. I don't really get sick. I can go through the year, you know, chasing whatever I want to go do in life, and I'm able to do that because I'm not laying in bed sick with a cold or a fever or anything, or any type of, you know, major sickness that a lot of other people have, you know. But with that being said, I think something that a lot of people do overlook is health. That's a big thing. That's really important to me. Number 2 is super important to me personally, is family. I have a really small family, but they're everything to me. They're super supportive. Whatever I want to do, you know, whether it was hockey, whether it was coaching, whether it was school, whatever it was that I was doing, they always believed in me. They were always supportive. They always had my back. That's really what I'm grateful for. Another thing, you know, especially this time of year, it's cold out, being in the Northeast in Boston, you know, I'm happy that I have, you know, a place to sleep in that has heat. And I know you're probably watching this like, what the fuck, who doesn't have heat? Well, I walk through the city quite a bit for work, you know, in Boston, and I see a lot of homeless people. And sometimes it's really fucking cold out, and I feel bad, and I do my best, you know, to help the homeless and do whatever it is I can to help. But at the end of the day, like, I might not live in my dream palace that I want to live in, you know, 3-4 years down the road. You know, I might not have that gorgeous apartment or gorgeous home yet, but I have a place where I can sleep. I have a place where I have heat, you know, and I have a place where I can get a shower. And I think those things, again, are the daily things that we take for granted that, you know, that some people don't have. Another thing is a car. You know, I at one point in my life, I had a car that broke down on a monthly basis, you know, and it sucked. It was hard to get around. I never knew if I was going to make it to the place I was going. I always had, when we were going with a bunch of friends or whatever, I always had somebody else fucking drive because I didn't know if I was gonna fucking break down. Second thing is, or not the second thing, but another thing is food. You know, I'm lucky enough where, you know, the other day I was getting something to eat, and something for $10 at a restaurant to grab something to eat and go. And I just thought about it, and I was like, wow, like, you know, $10 doesn't seem like a lot, but there's a lot of people that don't have $10 to be able to just go buy something to eat when they're hungry, and that's a luxury that a lot of us take, you know, advantage of, or we don't even really think about as something that we should be grateful for. So those are a few things that I think get overlooked on a daily basis, you know, throughout the year that are really important. And I think another thing is friends, you know. I don't have a ton of friends, but the friends I have are super, super close to me, and they would do anything for me, and I'm so grateful for that. And I know so many people that have hundreds of friends, but when they ask them to go do something, they're never around, or they need something, they can't help you out. And I look at those people, and I'm like, they really, you know, is that really friends? Like, is that something to be grateful for? I'd rather have 6 or 7 people that would give their shirt off, you know, their back for me, rather than 500 friends or whatever the fuck it may be. So I think that's really important, you know. To me, those are things that I'm really grateful for. And the best thing about people in general is that everybody is grateful for different things. And everybody expresses gratitude in a different way. And that's something so cool, because what I think that I'm grateful for, you might have something completely different that you're grateful for. It's something completely different that you express gratitude for, which is awesome. And I think that's some of the best things about being people, is that we get to express those things, and we get to express things differently, or we're grateful for different things, and that's awesome. The second thing that I want to talk about is the journey that we make as people. And I know you're watching this right now, and you're probably like, how the fuck does gratitude relate to that? And it will. Just give me a second. It'll all make sense. I think a lot of us get too caught up in looking forward to where we want to be in 2 and 3 years, and that's great. We should do that as people. That's how we move forward as people. We set these things in front of us, and we move forward to those, and then we set new things in front of us, and we move towards those. That's how we move as people. That's how we make journeys in life, right? And I think so many people get caught up right now, and they get so frustrated with where they're at right now, that they never take a minute to actually take a step back and realize how far they've come. And I think that's what we need to be grateful for sometimes, is seeing how far you've come as a person. Or if you set out to change yourself, you need to take a step back and realize how far you've come and how much you've changed. You know, even if it's this much or this much, like you've still changed. And I think you need to be grateful for that and give yourself, you know, a pat on the back and say, hey, I moved a little bit, you know, I moved a little bit closer. A perfect example was me a year ago, you know, a little over a year and a half ago, I moved up here, and I was all over the place. I was a fucking mess. I had no idea with what I wanted to do. Wanted to start this. I didn't have the guts to do it. No fucking idea on what I was doing for work. I was all over the place with that shit. I was out with friends too much. I was just all over the place. And my actions weren't lining up with what was going on in my brain. My brain was like, listen, I want to achieve this. I want to go do this. I want to get this done. I want to go. I want to do big things. I only have a certain amount of time on this planet. I want to go. My actions weren't following them. My actions were like, ooh, and then my ideas were like, ooh, and it was like a fucking huge gap in between. Like, why? Like, you know? But, sorry. But I think this time of year especially, as I just said, you need to be grateful for how far you've come, and you to realize, I know that right now this whole thing is not where I want it to be, and I get angry with that. And that's okay. That's good. That's good, because I know that every video I make, I want to make it better. I want to make it better, the content better. I want to do this better. Editing, whatever the fuck it is, I want to make it better, right? But I have to realize that 3 months ago, I was too afraid to do this. And I need to be grateful for how far I've come in 3 months. And I know in another 3 months it's going to get even better. And then another 3 months it's going to get even better. You really need to appreciate how far you've come in your journey. Or whatever the fuck it is that you're doing. If you're playing sports and you're struggling and you think you haven't gotten much better, look where you fucking started. You know, appreciate that. Appreciate how much you've gotten better. And I think when you're grateful for your strides and you're grateful for your little steps towards the big picture, I think you appreciate the journey much more. And looking back where I was 6 months ago, a year ago, it just puts a smile on my face, and I'm like, holy fuck, like, look how far I've come. Even though it's not where I want to be yet, I can't believe how far I've come in 1 year. And I know a year from now, I'm going to say the same thing. I'm going to do another one of these videos. It's probably going to be 500 times better. And I'm going to fucking sit here and be like, wow, remember last Christmas I fucking made a video about saying, like, I was so proud of myself about how far I've come? I can say the same fucking thing a year ago and be like, wow, look how far I've come. You know, so you make these strides and you go from point A to point B, and you need to be grateful for those strides that you make and appreciate them. And don't get too caught up in the moment of being like, I'm not there yet. I'm not good enough. I'm never going to do it. Like, why am I not moving faster at what I want to do? That's great that you feel that way. That's because you have a desire in you to get better and better and better. And that's fucking super important. But at the same time, you need to appreciate how far you've come. And I think that's something really big. And once you can understand how far you've come, you can kind of put things into perspective and be like, hey, I'm not there yet, but the wheel is fucking moving. And I think once you understand that the wheel is fucking moving, it kind of gives you, you know, a different sense on how things are going. It gives you a sense of like, things are moving in the right direction. Things are gaining momentum. They're moving forward. Fucking my man, Uncle Momentum, fucking killing it. Just fucking, I'm telling you, momentum is ridiculous how much you can do for a person. But once you realize that that wheel is moving from point A to point B, it's just going to keep going and going and going, and you're going to get better, and you're going to appreciate how far you've come, and you're going to appreciate your journey. You're going to appreciate you're fucking moving in the right direction. So whatever the fuck it is that you want to go to, just understand from when you start to 6 weeks in, to 6 weeks again, to another 6 weeks, appreciate how far you've come in those little increments.